What is up? Okay, I'm going to give some people a few minutes. See if anybody pops in. And then we'll get started. I thought I would hop on. I've never been on this late in the day doing a live stream, so I thought I would give it a shot. And I don't have much time this afternoon until my roommate is back. And so this one's not going to be very long, but I have a couple things written down that I wanted to talk about. And my last couple of live streams, they've done pretty all right. I mean, as far as me just experimenting and practicing and getting comfortable with live streaming and kind of getting a feel for it, the last two have gone pretty well. I think I've done 6 or 7 now. And I actually really enjoyed the last couple of live streams. I mean, they were small, but I had some participation and I felt like I communicated my points pretty well, except for the fact that yesterday's live stream, I had to keep getting interrupted by everything from street workers to insects to you name it. I had to keep getting up and moving and changing position, but that's okay. I still finished the stream. So anyway, yeah, I'm just trying it at different times of day, earlier in the morning, sometimes in the midday, and now it is late in the afternoon, which is usually when people are available and at home and just chilling. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but this one's going to be a shorter one today. But I've got a couple topics. In the last couple of live streams, I have talked about my YouTube channel, and since it's been kind of trending for people to talk about that lately on YouTube, their journey or whatever to building their channel and their journey to making it to 1,000 subscribers, which I don't think you have to make it that far now. I think it's 500. But that whole thing has gotten kind of popular for people to talk about that, how they got there, what gave them a boost, what they figured out this far, working the process to monetization and getting in the partner program. And so I thought, well, okay, I'll talk about mine. So my last 2 live streams have kind of been about that, how I did that, what that's been like, and everything along the way. So if you haven't seen those, go and check them out. They're on my page. You can catch the replay. And some other little tidbits. But today, y'all, it's not bright enough in here. That sucks. Today, I have spent most of the day. Organizing my channel, okay? And that's kind of what I want to talk about in this live stream. And y'all, I know, I could talk about a million things. My head is all over the place because here's the deal. My channel really doesn't have a niche, right? And I know people talk about that all the time. Like, what's better? Niching down, having a specific thing that you do on your channel that you talk about consistently, not deviating from that, or doing different topics, different things. I personally find it very hard to just pick one niche and just talk about that one thing. That's a hard one, and I guess, for people that just strictly want to please the algorithm and, I get it. We all want to make money. We all want to get our videos out there. I guess for people that don't really care about, because there are some people like that, and I'm not being judgmental about that. If they want to just look at it like a job, there are some people who really are on YouTube for business, to sell their products, to promote their businesses, to drive traffic to their businesses, to get a little extra reach on that, and to make money off of their channels. And they are strictly business. and they're doing it in a very business-like way, whatever, what have you, and that's fine. And they might, be able to stick to that, but, and I feel in a way like those people are sometimes less creative. Okay. There are those of us though, and I'm sorry, but a lot of times the creative mind is a tortured mind. It is a tormented mind a lot of the time. That comes in that package. And there are those of us who couldn't bear. It's like, yes, we want to make money. It's like that whole starving artist shit. Yeah. It's like, of course we want to make money. Of course we want to make an income. But we are so creative and so driven by feeling and intuitive and creative and what comes from soul and, our creative life force and our message. And we're so much that way that we wouldn't bear to be able to get on YouTube and just do it just for money, just for business, cold, hard, direct, blah, blah, blah. It just, I know I wouldn't be able to do that. Okay. And so for the more creative people, and people that have a lot of passions and, they really do want things to come from their soul and they're very passionate about that. It's hard. It is really hard because, a lot of times the YouTube algorithm, it wants you to stick to one set niche so they'll know who to push that out to. But honestly, I can't stand it. I feel like, it just pisses me off. It's like, I don't like those limitations. I really hate it. It bothers the crap out of me. Like today, I spent most of this day, I'll get back on the niche thing in a minute, but I spent most of this day, I have over 600 videos on my channel, y'all. And I got kind of lazy. Like there would be I started it about 3.5 years ago. And, there for a while I was going pretty well, and I would make sure every single video that I, did the thumbnail, and I did the description, and I did the tags, and I did this, that, and the other. And I put it on a playlist, and I tried to organize things. But then after you get going on your channel for a while, you're working, you're doing other things, life is happening. And for some of us, there could be times in your life where for a few weeks or months or even longer, you get kind of lazy with it. And you might be in a hurry to get up some content, and you might go for a few months just posting your videos and not getting a chance to work on the thumbnails, not getting a chance to put the tags on there, not getting a chance to put it on a playlist. And I got lazy. There would be quite a few months of my life where I just, between work and family and responsibilities and just chaos, where I didn't get to organize my channel like I wanted to, but I still kept making videos and stuff, right? So I'm having to look back at almost 4 years worth of content. And yes, for the most part, I kept it organized, okay? It wasn't total chaos, but at the same time, I'm having to look back through almost 4 years worth of content and go through all my playlists, and I'm finding shit that shouldn't even be on this playlist. And I'm finding that sometimes I've got 2 and 3 playlists for the same videos. Like my dog, for instance, I have a playlist full of videos for my Chihuahua. Well, I found that I had 2 different playlists about my Chihuahua, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Delete, get rid of one of them, get this shit organized. And so I spent most of today just going through not only my playlist, but really my entire YouTube channel and giving it a good cleaning. Okay, so we're going to get into that. We're going to talk a little bit about refreshing your YouTube channel. Just forget new content for a minute, which I know, I am too. I'm anxious to work on new content. I like putting out new content. I've got 2 videos in the works right now that I've got to get to editing. I'm working on a lot of stuff, but I also like live streaming. It gives me a chance to just pop on and talk about things I want to talk about freely. So we're going to get into this in just a minute. Talking about refreshing your channel. Stop, just hold on with new content for a minute, and kind of how doing something like this, and I can't remember which creator. I really try to cite my sources, and I really try when I have gotten knowledge or guidance or inspiration from another creator, I try to mention them and give them their credit in the video and link their videos in the descriptions if I can remember. But it's not always possible to remember where I get every little scrap and tidbit from. But I can't remember, but I know this is a thing. Several creators have talked about this, how it really can help your channel if you just stop for a little bit. And I'm glad I'm doing it now. Okay. I'm still a small channel. I'm at about 2,200 subscribers. And I'm very thankful for that. And I'm hoping it will continue growing. I mean, in a way, I'm proud of that. It's more than I, ever really thought I would have when I first started this whole thing. I've got 600 videos, 2,200 subscribers, but I'm still a pretty small channel. But when I went in and started trying to look at all my playlists and all my content, all my thumbnails, and really just look at what I have done on my channel in the last 4 years, I was overwhelmed. Even though I'm still a small channel, 600 videos, right? Yeah, I was overwhelmed with the work, finding what I was finding. And I bet some of you, if you just stop right now and go in and just, take a day off or whenever you get some time and just really look through your channel. Now, some of you might be really meticulous and keep up with it. Every single video, just perfectly on the playlist, perfect with the tags, the description, the thumbnail, everything is always perfectly organized. That's great. But I'm one of those people that hasn't always been quite so perfectly organized with it. I've had weeks and months in the past where I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna put a video up and I gotta get back to work. And that would be that, and it would just get slapped up there without tags, without description, barely with a good title, sucky thumbnail, didn't give a shit, had to keep rolling, but I wanted to get that thought out and I wanted to post that video, so that's what I did. So that piles up after a while, and I'm sure there might be some of you guys out there who know what I'm talking about. So we're going to get into this little conversation here in a minute, okay? That's what we're going to talk about. Let me see who all's here. I watched a good live stream yesterday. Oh my God, I really enjoyed it. And he really inspired me too, because going forward, those are the types of live streams that I would really like to get going, is the type of live stream this guy was doing yesterday. His name, it's Edgar the Alchemist is his channel. It's a spiritual channel. And oh my God, I really, really enjoyed the topics that he was addressing and talking about yesterday, and the people within the chat, everybody. I mean, it was just this whole meeting of the minds. It was a really great live stream. I was very inspired by that. I'll come back to that in a minute, though. You guys see my dog behind me? Hector! Ah, what you doing? Oh, his ears are so big. I'm always asking him. I bet you can hear on Mars, can't you? Say hello, Hector, to the people, to the baby. Say hello. That's my Hector. Who's here? Indonesia in the house. Artie, What's up, y'all? What's up? Hi. Okay, so yeah, back to the info here. So I thought that was pretty good advice. Okay, the creators and people who are advising us before our channels get too much larger, when we have a chance, and I personally think that's just good practice. You know, if you're not a person who always has time to perfectly organize your channel and your playlist, and you're in a hurry sometimes and you're posting or whatnot, it's good practice to go through and do that every couple weeks, maybe every month, every couple months, whatever. Just periodically. And I'm starting to do that now, you know. But my life was so chaotic when I started my channel that I didn't have as much time as I do now. In the last year or two, I have really worked on calming things down in my life and getting my focus back on for my channel and for everything else. So now I do have a bit more time that when I post a video, I can take time, make sure the tags, the description, the thumbnail, the playlist it's going on, yada, yada. But I know it's hard when you're working, when you're doing this and you're doing that. It can be hard. So I think it's good practice, and I'm going to continue doing it periodically to just go through the entire channel as it grows and look everything over, rethink. I think that's excellent advice. The creators that are telling people to do this, not only just to get organized for ourselves, but it can also help our channel to continue growing, to get more reach, to help our subscribers and our viewers find things, make it more aesthetically pleasing when we go in and revamp and refresh the thumbnails. But it can also hopefully increase our reach and increase our viewership. So, yeah, periodically going in, which is what I spent time doing today, y'all. And it was overwhelming. And my channel's not even that big. Like I say, 2,200 subscribers, but 600 videos, okay? It's not something I can do all on one day. I'm having to do it in bits and pieces, a little bit each day. But yeah, I went in, and the main thing I focused on today was organizing my playlist. That was very important to me. Organizing those damn playlists and looking at things like, what's the first picture everybody sees when they come to that playlist? I had playlists where it was just the videos were all out of order. Like if I had done a series, part one, part two, part three of something, it'd be part one over here, part three way down here, two or three things in the middle that didn't even belong there. All the videos in that playlist were all over the place and out of order. And it'd just be some old raggedy picture at the top from some random video. So I went into all the playlists. I looked at the first picture people are going to see that represents that playlist. I went on down, started getting the videos organized, part one, part two, part three, everything all nice. And you can do that, you know, go into the playlist and move the videos around in the order you want them in. And whatever picture you want to show up as the representation of that playlist, you put that video at the top. And it'll automatically show that video and that image, that thumbnail. Or they also give you the option now where you can edit your playlist photo, and you can do it with AI. You can literally create. It doesn't even have to be a thumbnail of your videos anymore. You can just do anything you want. I think last night I went in and designed a picture for Selena Selena Quintanilla's playlist that I have of her videos that I've made, and I use the new AI editor to make a thumbnail photograph to represent that playlist. So you've got options, plenty of options for putting a nice photo thumbnail representation on each and every playlist. Okay, so that's a thing. Getting your playlists in order, checking out the thumbnails that are representing each playlist. Also, my playlist descriptions describing what's in this playlist. It's nice, and I think every little bit helps. Okay, and I'm finally catching up to all this because it's hard to have time to do all that. But, you know, it describes what is in this playlist when a viewer comes to it and they're deciding, you know, whether or not, you know, they want to check it out or not. I just think it's nice to have, this is what blah, blah, blah. This is a collection of blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever. Just a little extra information. So I did all of that, organizing all the playlists. And like I say, I think every little bit of this will help not only me feel better because I'm so much more organized and I know where to find things, and everything is, you know, looks better aesthetically. But I also think it'll help my reach, my viewers, my subscribers, all that, you know, and I think it can help you too. So what else? I worked on the playlists and getting them in order and removing videos from playlists that didn't even need to be on there and putting things on the proper playlist. It was a hell of a job. And creating some new playlists for things that they were just in the video shelf. They didn't even have a playlist to be on. You know what I'm saying? And I think it helps when people watch your videos. Yes, I think it does help if you have them on a playlist of some sort. Get them organized into different playlists. And I've done that for the most part ever since I started the channel. I've always had playlists, but not for all my videos. There are probably hundreds of videos on my channel that aren't on a playlist at all. So it's so much easier for subscribers and for our viewers, yes. If they come to our channel, it's nice and organized, and they can see the playlists. Everything's there. It's all in order. It's aesthetically pleasing or eye-catching, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that today. And not only that, that was just part of it, getting the playlists organized. No, I'm not smoking. Chisel. Nope, I don't smoke. Funny, a lot of people aren't smoking anymore. It's a weird thing because I smoked for 30 years. A Newport smoker. Not when I first started, but yeah, I was a heavy smoker, menthol smoker for a long number of years. I started when I was about 12, unfortunately, and I smoked until I was almost 40. And I gave it up about 3 years ago. It's a funny story. Maybe one day I'll tell it. In fact, I have a playlist called From Smoking to Vaping. But I don't monetize those videos. Those are vape reviews and things like that. Long story short, I have 2 sons who are almost 30. And the younger one, a few years back, 4 or 5 years back, everybody started moving towards vaping. Well, it started with the young people first. My sons, and I noticed the younger people doing it. And you know, it took me a while to even want to go anywhere near it. We smokers are like that. We don't want nothing to do with that bullshit. We want our cigarettes most of the time. I know how that is. But I'm telling you, even after 30 years of smoking, and it took me a minute to make the crossover, to really find a vape that really did it for me.
Because as a smoker, I've got to have a decent throat hit, or I'm going to throw that shit down and go back to cigarettes. So, anyway, that's a story for another day. I don't really want to talk about that. But no, I am not smoking, thank God. I gave it up about 3 years ago. It was actually kind of a miracle. I started craving my vape more than my cigarettes. And I was glad for a lot of reasons, but vaping is not healthy. It is not healthy. Um, it's basically supposed to be used as a smoking cessation tool for a temporary time, and then you're supposed to quit vaping, period. It's just like the nicotine gum. I've spoken with medical experts about this in depth, my primary and other doctors. And yeah, they say vaping is fine for you if you're just using it to quit smoking for a few weeks. And then you're supposed to quit vaping too. Just like Nicorette gum or patches or any of that. That is what the doctor said they approved. That it's perfectly fine for you to use it to quit smoking. But then you're supposed to throw the vape down after that and quit totally. Not do like we do. And we all just keep on depending on these fuckers. I know. No, I've been vaping now for about 3 years. It took the place of the cigarettes. And if I didn't keep this in my hand all day, I would go back to smoking cigarettes. I mean, I have some cigarettes here somewhere. I don't I don't know, I don't want to put too much in my live stream that, might be against YouTube whatever. And that's the strictness on YouTube, man. I mean, I get it, but I have a problem with that in a way. We can't really, I find it hard to produce content sometimes that I really want to produce, that is of my soul, that is about my life and things I know and have experience with, because in the title, in the tags, in the description, I can't use any of it and be monetized. I'll get to that later. That little yellow $ restriction. You got to watch every word you say. And so, in a way, that shit feels very limited to me. It's like, what are they trying to do? Make YouTube some perfectly squeaky clean lie? Like we're all just, I don't know. And sometimes I just get a little irritated with it. Like, what do they want? Because there are raw, real life stories out here of struggle and hardship and suffering and addiction and childhood freaking trauma, and you name it, I've been there and I've got experience with it, and it's deep. And so a lot of my content gets restrictions put on it. Like most of it's on the green and monetized, but that's what I ran into going again. Let's circulate back to that from the vaping. Talk about vaping another day. I am not encouraging people to vape, though. Unfortunately, I do. I'm heavily dependent on it. I wish that I wasn't. I was in the hospital last year for pneumonia and asthma. Bad deal all the way around. So I am working on doing it less and less. It is not good for you at all, but I am still highly dependent on it. Yes, unfortunately. But I'm not a smoker. Stinky ass smoke. So, oh well, I don't know. But let's get back onto YouTube. And because I'm probably going to have to cut this live stream off in a few minutes. My mom will be back, and my mom and I share an apartment. And so when she's here, I don't, it's just too hard because the apartment is so small. It's hard to have any privacy to film or anything. But back onto the YouTube thing and refreshing the channel. I found a lot of that today going through my playlist. Like, okay, which ones are on green? Which ones, some things I hadn't even turned on the monetization for them yet. Some stuff was on yellow, which means restricted. It means you can still get advertisements put on it, but it's going to be more heavily restricted and you may not get any at all, depending on the advertisers. It means that something in your content they aren't pleased with or might not be right for advertisements. And man, some of my videos, I can't figure out what it is. So that's another part of what I did today, going after organizing the playlist and getting that stuff all nice and organized and cleaned up. I went through a refresh and revamp of just like all kinds of things on my channel, from thumbnails to tags, revamping and changing things around, which brings me to some videos I noticed I didn't even have them turned on to monetize because maybe whenever I made them 6 or 8 months or a year ago, I just left them and forgot them and they didn't have that many views. So I thought, oh, well, what's the point? I'll turn them on some other time when they're getting views if they do. Well, I was going in and turning on, like, if it's on here and it can be monetized, I'm going to turn it on. So I was going through everything and making sure everything that was appropriate enough, except my vaping playlist, that can't be monetized. That's completely restricted. I did that when I first started my channel, vape reviews and shit like that. But I went through turning everything on, and I noticed that some of my videos would get this little yellow $sign and still kind of restricted. But here's what you can do. So all the ones that I needed to work on, I went to work on them. I went in and I was like, okay, this is a decent video. Let me check. Okay, there's no curse words in the first 30 seconds. There's no curse words even in the first 3 to 5 minutes. These are things you have to look for or your videos kind of will get restricted. I check a lot of things. I checked the thumbnail. What does my thumbnail look like? What does it say? I checked my titles. I checked the tags and the description, because I have found that if there are words in there that they don't like, it will immediately turn yellow. And simple shit that, like the word dark, the darkness of this, or the word bad, or simple shit that we don't think much about. Sometimes YouTube is real picky about monetizing a video because a lot of times they've got these bots that don't understand nuance, that don't understand context. So anyway, I went in and some of my videos, the ones that came up yellow when I turned on monetization, I went to work on them. I went right in, took that thumbnail out, went right into my video editor, quickly got another picture, changed it to something a little bit more simple if the thumbnail wasn't good, or if the thumbnail had words on it like trauma. I used to put the word trauma in a lot of my videos and on a lot of my thumbnails. They don't like that. They restrict that word for some reason. So you kind of just have to experiment, trial and error, change things around on those videos if you have a yellow restricted sign on your monetization. Go in, change your thumbnail up, look at the words you've used on your thumbnail or in your title, in your description, and in your tags. I had words all up in all of it. Stuff like childhood trauma. They don't like the word lies. Like if you have a video, it says how to tell if someone's lying. Like, I mean, they can be so picky about the weirdest things. I'm still trying to figure it out. But you just have to try and reword it until you get that green $sign. And I know that sucks in a way that pisses me off. But that will work most of the time. Most of the time, right then and there, if I go in and change things up a little bit to their liking and just try to reword it, then it'll turn green and it'll be fine right then and there. But I've had 2 or 3 that no matter what I did, no matter what I changed, it would not come off that yellow restriction. And I'm just like, what the hell? It'd be like part 1 and part 2. almost identical videos of the exact same content, no cursing in the first few minutes, nothing bad in the title, nothing bad in the thumbnail, nothing dark or bad or addiction or drugs. I mean, basically my whole life, everything I could ever talk about that's of real substance. Sure, I've got other things to talk about that are light and fluffy and wonderful and inspiring, and I do talk about those things, but all the rest of the shit that I'm made of that's there in my roots, that shit gets blocked. I have to be really careful with how I word that shit. So that's what's up. And a couple of those videos, it don't make a shit what I do. How I word it, how I change the title, how I change the thumbnail, the tags, the description, everything it's the craziest shit I've ever seen, but they still got it on restricted. And it'll just be some little thing that they find inappropriate or something like that. So that shit drove me crazy today. And I understand we have to abide by YouTube policies for safety, and I don't mind that. I don't mind a bit. But one thing I don't like is being so completely censored that it's really hard to create content from the authentic depths of my soul, things that are part of my life that I'm not out to, you know what I'm saying? Not out to just throw them out there in a negative way that would harm other people by any means, but using them in an educational way or even an inspiring way, in a way of providing testimony, different things like that. I don't understand, but they block so much of that shit from actually making money. I don't know how other channels do it. If they've got the word addiction in their title or trauma in their title, because they're real quick to slap that restriction up on monetization. Now, don't get me wrong. I have quite a few videos that are monetized that talk about stuff like that, like the ones where I talk about my father going to prison for what he did to me. And that's a deep, dark subject. And you have to be really careful how you tag it. I wouldn't dare put certain words in my tags. It's like you kind of have to beat around the bush about what's in that video to get around. You have to put everything in the middle of the video. People don't understand, but that's why a lot of times people are lollygagging and bullshitting and beating around the bush in the beginning of the video to kill some time. So that when checks run through, as long as you're not cussing in the beginning of the video or every 5 minutes, you're fine. You can go to town in the middle of that motherfucker. As long as you're not talking about the hardcore shit in the beginning of the video or every 5 minutes, you're good to go. You can talk about it in the middle of the video. The middle of the video is where you can let loose. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of have to beat around the bush in the title and the tags and the description about what's going to be in that video. And people might be in for a surprise when they get to the middle of it. But that's just kind of the way it seems to have to be, as far as staying within the boundaries of YouTube's safety and security policies and keeping your videos able to monetize them all the way without any restrictions. But at the same time, that sucks because you can't really all the way tell people what's going to be in this video and advertise it. And therefore, the people that want to find that kind of shit aren't going to be able to find it. And some people that might be even triggered by that kind of shit might stumble into it accidentally. That's what sucks about that. But y'all get what I'm saying? That's kind of what we're having to do. And I don't like it. I don't, but anyway. Well, hello, Blobby Black. You think so? I don't do that. I don't really give a shit about comments. How's that? I'm still new at live streaming. I check the comments about every 15 minutes because I have about 5 people that participate because I'm still a small channel. Does that make sense? Cool. Why do you want me to check the comments? So I can read that same bullshit that you've written in my live stream for 3 days now? That's the same shit you commented yesterday and the day before. You do it every day. You do it every time I live stream. Who cares? I'm live streaming really for me right now, not for you. Does that make sense? I'm live streaming so that I can get practice and get comfortable with it, and so that I can connect to a few people when I want to lean down, read my comments, and interact. And as I grow and I know that more people are participating, then I will be participating and increasing the frequency at which time I look down and take a break and comment back and forth. I'm not doing that right now because I don't really have a lot of people participating right now. Does that make sense? Cool. I'm doing this mostly for me, to get practice, to get comfortable, and to get some information out to people that want this information. And if you want to keep telling me the story about this bullshit high school stuff that you say every single time I live stream, the first time I was nice. I commented back to you about it. I commented back to you about it yesterday. Today, get over it. Next. I'm done. Moving forward. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for the tips, but I don't need them. It depends on what you're trying to do in your live stream. I mean, especially big channels. I don't know how they do it. Oh, I know. And it used to irritate me too. Some of my big people that I follow that have big YouTube channels. And I'm like, damn, I love what they're talking about. This conversation is so intense. And then they'll stop and they'll say, they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be driving the car listening to this live stream, right? And they'll be talking about some damn intense stuff, really good stuff. And then I'll hear them going, yeah, Michael, ha, ha, ha. And yeah, so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll get off on a whole other conversation. And I was like, oh, that's what, okay. Because I wasn't used to live streams. And I'm like, that is so irritating. They're answering people in the chat. That's what they're doing. And they're getting so distracted that they're spending 30 freaking minutes talking about something, a whole other subject that somebody brought up in the chat, which I know that's what live streaming is for, but I don't see how they do it. Because that's why if and when I ever grow bigger, when my channel does grow bigger and I get better at live streaming, at that point, I might just get on here just to chat with y'all. Just to sit here like I'm sure some people do and go, what's up, y'all? I'm bored. Who's here? And just talk back and forth. I'm sure some people do that. I don't know. But my channel's not really big enough to do that yet because I think there's like 3 people in the chat right now, 3 or 4. And from the time I started this, I've stopped about 3 times and said, who's here? And I've called out people's names. I've read comments. Plain and simple. There wasn't nothing on there much. So I went on back to my conversation. I check comments when I want to, okay? When I feel like I want to take a break from talking and mingle a little bit and talk with folks, if I see that somebody's actually got something intelligent or informative to say, or they're just trying to be polite and say hello, then I will do the same back, okay? Whenever I get ready to. Because like I say, I'm still a tiny channel. and there's not really that much going on. So that's why I'm using this for practice time, to give out information and to get comfortable with this. And it's cool, man. It's totally cool. Now, once I get bigger and my live streams grow, which I hope they do, then at that time, I will get better and better at less of my information and maybe more interaction with my people. But this isn't even the kind of live streaming I even really intend to do. These are practices. This is me coming up with information that's valuable that I know other people might want, and it's giving me a chance to practice for the live streams that I'm really trying to work towards in the future. It's not going to be anything about this kind of shit. No, I want to start putting together live streams. But see, that's the problem. My channel isn't in one particular niche. So I'm not known for this. I want to live stream about sleep paralysis and out of body experiences, which I am very, very experienced with. And I want to really build a larger spiritual community. And I want to start doing live streams about that and drawing people into more participation, like the live stream I attended yesterday, where everybody was participating, everybody was all on the same topic, and it was fascinating. That is more, really what I'd like to build with some like minds here in the coming future. But I'm not really known for that on my channel because I have different niches, different topics. Plus, that guy had 18,000 subscribers. And he had a lot more participation on his live. I've got a little over 2,000. So there's a difference. But it'll get there. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you like my glasses. I can't see without them, honestly. I'm at that age. These are big glasses, but all my other ones are broken, so I have to wear these. But thank you. That's nice of you to say. It's starting to get dark in here. I need another light. But anyway, I do thank you for stopping by and saying hello to me. See, I don't even have that many comments. I answered everybody. The person that said something about me smoking, I answered them. I answer my comments. It's hot in here. I'm going to have to turn some air on. Y'all look at this. I got this for my Chihuahua for Halloween. Isn't that cute? Cute Chihuahua. You heard me say Chihuahua. He heard me say that. You heard me say that. Hector. Maybe you would like to go. Maybe. Hector. Booker Hector Juan Carlos Esteban. What you think? That's my puppy. Who else has a Chihuahua? Anybody have a Chihuahua? Before I get back to talking about the rest of this YouTube information, because I don't want to be a lie. I said in the title I was going to give some information about organizing the YouTube channel, and the title said you are the niche. Okay, I got to get to that before I have to cut this off. Talking about channels that aren't choosing one particular niche, but they kind of are the niche. They're taking a lot of different things and making it into a niche. That's what I do. I got to get to that. Anybody here have a Chihuahua or a puppy? Or you like dogs? Dog? Did you hear that word, dog?
You got a German Shepherd? Aww. It's the accent. I know. Okay. I know. There's a funny story behind that. I've talked about that in my videos before. I don't know why. Oh, I haven't made those public yet. I have videos talking about past lives and spiritual stuff like that. Eventually, I'm going to get them posted to my channel. But that's about the accent. I've talked about that in other videos. How I don't know why, but I've always spoken to my dogs in an accent. It just comes out like that. I don't know why. It's the weirdest shit. Which, my dog is Chihuahua. It's like a Mexican dog. And he has a Mexican name. And I love Spanish, Mexican culture, Latin culture in general. Always wanted to be fluent in Spanish. I speak a little, but I'm not fluent in it. And I don't think it's in my ancestry, but I don't know. I've always thought about that as far as past lives go, like the things that we really love and that we're really passionate about, but we've never been influenced by those things, and we weren't around anybody like that in our childhood. Little things like that. Sometimes I really think that it comes from different lifetimes. I don't know, but it's just a thought. It's interesting to me. But yeah, it's funny as fuck. I know the way I talk to my dog, and I used to do it with my lab too. And it spread through my whole family. Now, my kids who are almost 30, my grown sons, they talk to their dogs in an accent. My sister talks to her dog in an accent. Our friends that have been around me, they talk to their animals like that. It's fucking funny as hell. Hector, what's your thing? I don't know why I've always done that, and it's usually always just family around and nobody takes offense to it. I mean, it's never been anything that I want to offend or hurt anybody with. It's just an endearing thing that I do with my animals, kind of like baby talk. How people usually talk to their animals in baby talk or their babies in baby talk. I talk to my animals in an accent. That's my baby talk. What's your German Shepherd's name? Casual activities? Sounds like you for real. What, the accent thing? Oh, oh, that's so sweet, Belle. I love that, Belle. That's a sweet name. I bet she's beautiful. Yeah, German Shepherds are gorgeous. I love German Shepherds, but I've just got a little dog. I had a black lab. In fact, I've got a video about her on my channel as well. She passed away last year, or no, she passed away in 2022. She was 13. And I wasn't a dog person before her. I was raised with cats. And I kept cats up until I was almost 30. And then I adopted my lab, Mia. She was a stray. And I really think she was a runt because she was not a huge lab. She was a small lab. And I think she might have been mixed with Pit. But that was the best, sweetest, smartest dog ever. I had her. She lived to be 13 years old. And that's the biggest dog I've ever owned. And she wasn't very big for a lab at all. So I love big dogs, but I can't really take care of them. They're wonderful. Aww.
She's 10. 10 and runs around like she's 5. I know, they always do. That's good. That's good. My boy's 8. And the thing is, oh, come here, old man. Oh, mama baby. Why you? Why you? You want to be a superstar for a minute? The thing is, he's all white now. He was brown. Like on top of his head. And see that? He's just barely golden, but he's mostly white now. And he's big for a Chihuahua. He's 12 pounds. He's gained weight. He might be mixed with something like Pomeranian or something, but I was told he's full-blood deer-head Chihuahua. He's not the applehead kind that people are used to. He is the deer-head kind, long coat, which they're bigger than usual Chihuahuas. Are you sleepy, mama's baby? Well. But yeah, he's 8, and he still runs around like a pup when he wants to, chasing after his toys, and he's fierce. He's not a people person. He will attack the shit and bite the shit out of people. I have to keep him away from people. But yeah, that's good. That's good that your dog is still active and healthy. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to scare you. But yeah, being 8 years old now, his hair is all faded out to white and he's getting older. But I think these little dogs can live sometimes 15, even 20 years. I've heard of these little dogs living a long time. And it breaks my heart that the bigger dogs, they don't have as long of a lifespan. Oh, Lady and Belle, Lab and Pit, too pure, working like Belle and Lily. That's sweet, Bobby. Blobby. Which one is it? It looks like it's Blobby. Blobby. I'm gonna call you Black. I'm gonna call you BB because I can't see very well. It looks like there's an L in there. Is it Bobby or Blobby? I'm gonna call you BB. Anyway, that's cool though. Lady and Belle. That's sweet. I like those names. Average Joe. I don't know about you, man. I saw what you said. No, there isn't. I am the thing to this channel. I am the niche. It's me. Life of a 7 is not a niche channel. It is comprised of several different types of things in one channel, mainly pertaining to the psychological or the spiritual. Got a lot of different topics, but basically within all of my videos, you will most likely find something spiritual or something psychological within the video somewhere. I will either be making a point, spreading some type of awareness, drawing attention to certain psychological patterns and or spiritual patterns and aspects and concepts and things like that. Now, I do have a few videos and a few playlists that are just my everyday bullshit. A playlist of videos of my dog, fashion, food, things that I'm passionate about. But for the most part, yeah, my channel, I cover certain crime cases, most of the time talking about the psychological dynamics of their personalities their childhoods, their upbringings, childhood trauma, surviving childhood abuse on all levels, as I did. Uh, Story time, my father going to prison, how I grew up, all kinds of things. Spiritual concepts and things like that, sleep paralysis, out of body experiences, which I've had. So, yeah, my channel has a lot, but within all of that, it's kind of the same. You get what I'm saying? It's weird. It doesn't really have one niche because that's hard for me, but I'm just kind of taking all of that and I kind of am the niche. My life. A lot of this has to do with my life stories and my testimony. And a great deal of my channel, I've always loved other people's life stories, biographies, and so I do a lot of videos on people that I'm interested in, people that somehow inspire me or, whatever. But I know I put that in my title about channels that don't have a niche, that you are the niche. Okay. I heard somebody say that the other day here on YouTube about not creating a niche, but you become the niche. And I thought it was really interesting. But I feel like eventually, as I keep going, and this may work for some of you as well, I'm still experimenting and growing and putting out different types of videos, and I talked about this the other day, how sometimes I'm like, well, dang, some people come to my channel to see videos about the Watts case, and other people come to my channel to see videos about Selena Quintanilla and tribute videos, and other people come to hear about sleep paralysis. And it's like, what, but within all of that, it's all, to me, thought-provoking, because within all of those videos, I'm going to be talking about psychological things, that they have similarities in the things that happen to these different people. It's all psychological and spiritual to me in one ball. Like, but sometimes I do get worried about that. Well, different people are coming for different things. But eventually, over time, as I get more consistent with my videos and being known for all of those certain types of videos, then I feel like, the subscribers I already have will get used to that. They'll know that I'm going to continue to make videos on those certain topics. And I feel like going forward, eventually, the people that want to find what I'm doing will find me, if that makes sense. Like the spiritual stuff. I did not start posting that when I first opened my channel. That is not what I became known for on the channel. When it did start to grow a little bit and I got to my 1,000 and I got monetized and all that, and I started getting subscribers, I wasn't really known for spiritual talks, for sleep paralysis, for out-of-body experiences, for so many of the spiritual things that I'm very passionate about discussing. I was waiting on a later time to do all that. And I'm just getting around to posting that kind of thing now. I was more known for psychological talk, covering crime cases, the Watts case, psychological talk, talking about narcissists, talking about, childhood traumas, that kind of thing. I was known for that for a long time more than anything. But then I started doing video tributes like Gia Karanji and people that I'm, passionate about, and doing different types of things. So I just feel like, I don't know. It's difficult right now not having a niche in a way, but in a way it works for me. I enjoy it and I'm going to keep going like that, but I'm just going to be a lot more consistent with the spiritual stuff. I'm going to start cranking out a lot more of that. I'm going to start live streaming about that. And even if it's dead for a while and nobody participates, and then eventually the people that want to find that knowledge, like I feel like the subscribers I already have, I feel like pretty much they all like that kind of stuff anyway. Many of them are fans of Sloan Bella's. Many of them, I think so. I already think that my subscribers right now, not only are they supportive of Shanann Watts like me and into, crime stories and things like that, and justice for people, and, but I think a lot of them are also highly spiritual. So, you know, I don't think I don't think it'll take long for, people to catch on and realize that, hey, I know a lot about these kinds of topics and I have a lot of experience with these kinds of topics, and I think it'll be fun. So I'm just going to keep going with that route, doing what I've been doing different types of videos and just incorporating more of the spiritual stuff in it and see how it goes. But yeah, I like that idea. I don't think it's good for people who want to make a quick buck. And that's probably not going to work. But, staying true to myself. And I really like that whole thing of, not being forced to niche into something that I may get tired and sick of doing and have so many other passions. But because the algorithm dictates, or because the algorithm won't show my stuff and I won't make any money, I hate that shit. So whether I do or whether I don't, I would rather just keep being me and comprising my channel of all of my passions, my soul, the things I admire, the things I want to discuss or create, or that my testimony, whatever it is that comes through this channel, spiritual, psychological, food, fashion, otherwise, whatever. Therefore, I am creating myself as the niche. I kind of like that. I kind of like that idea. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all do? I do have children. One stop shop. Yep. I don't know how many tats I have, Joe. That's my brother's name. Joe. Average Joe. I don't really know. I think about 15 maybe. I don't really like any of these. They're getting old. I have one on my shoulder. It's a dragon, a tribal dragon. It's my favorite. I said yesterday I was going to wear a tank top where people could see it. You can't really see it now, but the one on my back, it goes down to about right here. It's my favorite. It's the best one. These suck. They need some work. But I like that tribal dragon. I got the inspiration for that from Damien Eccles. He has the same one wrapped around his arm. Yeah, a lot of these I got when I was a kid. And, a lot of them I wish I didn't have any on my arms. I just maybe had that one. But I just had to, prove how hard I was when I was growing up. Had to prove how tough I was. Had to mark myself up. I was the only kid. I was literally the only girl in junior high. In 7th grade, I came back off of a run. I ran away from home constantly. They brought me back, and I had to end up going back to school for a while. Maybe it was 8th grade. I was 13, 14. I was the only kid in junior high with a real tattoo. Back in the 80s, it was a big deal. Not a big deal now. You see kids everywhere with tattoos. You see every flower girl on the corner with tattoos. You see every church lady with tattoos. Everybody's got a tattoo now, right? But back in the 80s, if you were a little girl, if you were a young woman and you had a tat, you were fucking hard. There was something either wrong with you, or you were bad, you were a badass, or you were dark, or something was up, right? I didn't know any other kids my age, 13 in 1989, that had a fucking real tattoo on their arm. Yeah. My boyfriend did them. I used to run away and go, oh God, it was just craziness when I was growing up. Um, Rough childhood. But, now it's not that big a deal. You see it everywhere. I'm still a kid. Well, that's nice of you to say. Thank you. I wish. Sleeves are nice. I thought about doing a partial sleeve at one point, but I never did. I like sleeves on dudes. I don't know so much on chicks. It's okay. It does. They look kind of hard. They look way hard when there's a sleeve on a chick. But I like partial sleeves on chicks. I don't know. But anyway, well, let me get back to this little information before I close out my stream for the evening because my roommate's about to come in. But it has sure been nice chatting with all of you. For real. I really do appreciate all of you popping in, saying what's up, and your commentary. It's been fun getting to know some of you. And sorry if a couple of us got off to the wrong little foot there. I didn't mean any harm by any of that. But you all seem very cool. Um, and so I'm just going to finish this up. We kind of talked about the niching. We talked about organizing the Facebook playlists. And basically, this video was kind of, supposed to be about how we can increase our views, how we can make our channel more organized for viewers and for subscribers to find things, and how we can get things right so that our videos might have a higher chance of being pushed out more. And so I spent a lot of time doing that today, cleaning up those playlists, going through and turning on monetization on things that I didn't realize I had not turned it on. And some of them that have the yellow restriction, I tried to make some changes to get it to turn green, except for the few stubborn ones that I couldn't. And also, I took a look at old videos, old dusty thumbnails where I had not taken time to design a thumbnail or maybe change the picture up a little bit. You can try those types of things, refresh your thumbnails a little bit. Also, go through your titles. I went through a bunch of my titles and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I worded it like that. So it doesn't hurt to go back through your channel, go through some of your old videos. A lot of creators that give tips and tricks on how to help your channel, a lot of times they will say, don't delete those old videos that you think are crappy, because one day, people might want to click into those on a playlist or whatever. They might find those old videos and really want that information, or you might want to look back. You should make them private if you just don't want to see them for a while, or show them, but don't delete them, because there might come a day, no matter how much I cringe at the things that I did not know then, the music was wrong, this was wrong, that was wrong. I've learned so much since those first videos. But what I did is I made an entire playlist today just devoted to my very first YouTube videos when I first got started on YouTube. And so I put about 5, 6, 7, 8 of those earliest videos into that playlist, just for people to browse and look at, laugh at if they want, for me to look back at and to compare. So, that's up to you guys. But yes, I looked all through many things that could refresh my channel and hopefully give it a boost, get it going again, get it get me in that algorithm again, pull in some new viewers and subs, get my stuff out there. I worked on thumbnails, I worked on titles, words that I had used in my titles, or titles that I didn't even put much work into. Like I didn't even put like, oh come on, I could do better than that, or whatever. Take a look at your titles, reword them if you have to. I also went in and looked at tags. Did I have too many tags? They say if you have too many tags, it's not good. Did I have enough tags? Were they the right words? That kind of thing. I also looked at my descriptions. I've heard them say that too long of a description is not a good thing. Just write your description with the same keywords that are in your title. Keep it short and simple. So some of my descriptions, I had written a fucking book. So I went in and I took a lot of that out, put a short and sweet description in there with some keywords, and whatever else I wanted to put at the bottom. If I wanted to link them to some other videos, say thank you, disclaimer, a couple of hashtags for the, whatever, close it out. So that's basically what I'm saying. I went through the whole channel and just checked over everything, all the old shit, and gave it a revamp, a refresh. And I really think that can help, and I feel better about it. I feel a lot better. I feel way more organized. When I look at my playlist, they're way more aesthetically pleasing to me. Everything is in order. And hopefully, by me giving some of those old videos some attention, some of them didn't have good thumbnails or no thumbnail at all, or it was just crappy. Some of them didn't have good titles, like I said. By me going through all that stuff and just giving it a nice little dust off, I think that can help a lot. So that's that. What else? I think we've just about covered it all. Organizing the channel, giving it a refresh. I talked about the restricted videos. I talked about Edgar the Alchemist and his live stream that was so fantastic yesterday. And yeah, again, when I pull ideas from other creators, like you've heard me say in other live streams, I can generally either tell you their name, and if I can't, I'll go back and look them up, and then I will put a link to their work in the descriptions of these live streams so that you guys can come back later, or people catching them in the future, they can find that stuff in the description, because I like to give credit where credit's due. If I got the ideas and inspiration from other people. But there are times I do take inspiration from others, but there are times where I don't. There are times where I will not watch other people's content on purpose. I will stay away from it, a certain genre or whatever. Like if I'm getting ready to produce a video on a certain subject or a certain type of life story or experience, I will not watch because I don't want it to impact the integrity of my work, of what's going to come from my soul. I don't want to be influenced by it or plagiarize it or any of that. So I'll wait until mine is done and completed, put up on YouTube. I've gotten mine out of my soul authentically. And then I might, yes, go and watch other people's inspiration on that same stuff or whatever. So it is what it is, guys. But I'm about to clip this live stream for tonight. I think I've pretty much said everything I wanted to cover. And if I didn't, I'll just maybe do another one tomorrow. No, I'm not wearing a dress. Yeah, Joe, restricted videos. Like I was talking about earlier, when you're in the YouTube partner program, when you're monetized on your channel, if you go down in and look at your videos, they all have a monetization sign. When you go in and look at your earnings, your revenue, your income, your analytics, and all of that, each video has a sign beside it when it's monetized as to whether it's going to be fully monetized or if YouTube is going to put it on a mid. It has a yellow one for restricted. And red is a no-go. Red means that's it. That video is not, no way, no how, it's not going to get monetized, period. YouTube is not having it. That would be, certain videos talking about certain shit that they will not let you do it. But when it turns, most of the time it's green. If you're following the guidelines of YouTube and being in the partner program and what you can and can't say and do in videos for them to be found appropriate by advertisers. It's that whole thing, right? Which I don't really care for the damn censorship, to be honest. But it is what it is, Some of the videos, however, yes, will have a little yellow sign there, which means you're not totally blocked. It means they're not saying that you can't make money from that video, but they're saying that it's going to be harder. They're saying that this video, advertisers are going to be a little iffy about whether they want to put advertisements on your content or not on this particular video. So what I do is I go in and manually turn on each video. I don't monetize all my videos, because some of them are not appropriate for the program, and I don't want to get in trouble or restricted or whatever. But I go in and manually turn on whichever videos I want to monetize. And then YouTube lets me know if they think it's appropriate or not. They check copyright strikes. Do I have copyrighted music in here? Do I have copyrighted, am I plagiarizing anything? Am I cursing? Am I talking about drugs, sex, whatever in the first few minutes, or in a really negative way that is not educational, blah, 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 blah. They check for all that shit. And so, yeah, that's what I mean by restricted video. So I'm still learning about the whole restricted video thing. Like in the YouTube fine print, they say you can still make money from videos with the yellow sign. It just depends on the advertisers. They said, but in some cases, you may make nothing at all. It just all depends. So I'm still kind of weird and up in the air when I see those damn yellow signs on my videos, and I don't like it. And today it was just doing it right and left. I had 6 or 8 old videos that I had never turned on monetization for them because they had such a low view count. Well, today I went in and started turning them all on. And every damn one of them was trying to turn yellow. And I'm like, what the hell? So I started changing the titles and changing the tags, changing the thumbnail, trying to make sure everything was appropriate. And most of them went on and turned green, which was great. So that meant something in the title was not appropriate or something. But some of them would not. Some of them just remained restricted no matter what I did. I don't understand that. And I'm still learning about the whole restricted thing. So I guess I'll just have to do some more research. And, because one thing I do get worried about is if we have too many videos that are constantly turning yellow, could they take us out of the partner program? Or could they demonetize our whole channel and just be like, okay, you make too many videos, trying to monetize too many videos that are not appropriate? Or is it okay? Can we just keep posting them and leaving them on yellow? Because that's what I've been doing. I'm like, fuck it. I got most of mine are on green, but the ones that are on yellow, fuck it. I'll take my chances. I'll leave it on yellow. I'm not going to turn monetization off. I'll leave it on yellow and take my chances, because surely there are advertisers out there that are willing to put their freaking ads on certain videos. Surely not every company out there is so stick in the ass, uptight, squeaky clean, because my videos really aren't that bad. Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? So I just leave it on. Like, I'll just take my chances and, I'll take whatever advertisement if I can get it. I'll roll the dice is what I'm saying. But I do wonder about that. Like, if you do too many of them that way, could you get in trouble or could you get demonetized? So I don't know. Uh-huh. I have not seen those. Oh, I know. I know they're doing a lot of stuff on here. Everything from is it ASMR? What is it? Auto erotic, auto censor. I can't even say it. Where people want to listen to sounds. AMSR, ASMR. A, they're doing a lot of shit. I know. Feet and everything else on YouTube. Now, that's one thing I haven't seen. Not with a doll. I have seen a lot of baby channels. I'm talking the whole 9 yards. They block out a little bit of it, but I've seen it all. The birth, the breastfeeding, it's all on there, But dolls? Oh, I get it. Okay, so that's their way around everything. So they can make it look like it's for something wholesome. Okay. I see. I get you. Yeah, no. I mean, no, I'm not really knocking anybody for doing their thing. I hate to be a judgmental person. I'm trying to work my way out of that. But at this time in my life, it's not really my preference to do such things. You never know. I kind of feel like I'm getting too old for that. Now, back in my day, I was quite risque individual, but I've simmered down quite a bit uh, now that I'm into my 40s. And I had a partner who passed away last year from cancer. He and I were together almost 7 years, and that changed my life a whole lot. I settled down a whole lot. I loved him very deeply, and it kind of that was it. Once he passed away, I was pretty wild before that, though. I had my days, but I don't know. Something about being with him just made me want to change. Just maybe it's just not in my personality to be too out there. But I understand everybody has their thing if that's what people are into. And I also understand that people are having really hard times. People get desperate for money. I already know that whole road. Um, and sometimes people will do just about any damn thing um, to make a buck, but it is what it is. But I have my certain things that I like to talk about and I like to work on, and that's just my personality. Um, so I'll stick to that for now, but never know. That's interesting, though. Yeah, yeah, I totally get it. It's supposed to look like, yeah, a tutorial, but yet they're able to give everybody a show. How freaking funny. That's funny, man. I really wouldn't have known about that one if you hadn't have said that. That's hilarious. I mean, what can I say? It's actually pretty clever. It's actually pretty damn clever. But yeah, there's a lot of people getting a lot of views doing certain things. And it is like that on YouTube. If you try to, it's like that on the internet, period. If you try to stick to, you know, what's of your heart, what's of your soul, don't get me wrong. If that was of my heart and soul and that's really what the hell I wanted to do, don't think I wouldn't be doing it because I'm that type of chick. But I've got other passions, you know what I'm saying? And even though mine have a harder road, sitting over here with hardly any views, where these chicks over here pulling their whatevers out, yeah, they get all the views, but you know, I'm not to judge them, but a lot of times there's just not a lot of substance in the work, and you know, I'm just going after something of a bit more substance. But I get it. I totally get it. I totally get the shit for real. And thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to close this one out for tonight. It's actually gone on a lot longer than I expected to stream, but I've had a good time and I've enjoyed talking with some of you, and it's been fun. And I'm going to get off here and get myself something to eat. And I hope that some of the information that we talked about, as far as the YouTube channels and, you know, going through all the old stuff, and it's just a tip, you know, everybody's talking about it. There's a lot of different videos about this on YouTube, but you know, it's something I actually buckled down and did today. Even though it was a little bit overwhelming to sort through 600 videos, I didn't get to all of them, but I think personally it's a good idea. And so, you know, yeah, just go through your channel, look at all the old stuff, give it a nice dust off, a little spruce up, and I think that can help the channel greatly, and I'm hoping it helps mine too. So, and as far as the niche thing goes, that's my philosophy. I really like that a lot. Become the niche, be the niche, you know, but to each their own. We'll continue this in another one, okay? I hope you all have a really great and blessed night, okay? Stay safe. Thanks for dropping in.